Welcome to the I Love Wine and Dogs podcast, created, produced, and hosted by Heidi Hubner, with engineering and production by Timothy Stone Dancer Coleman. This show was created to celebrate good wine, amazing pets, and people from around the world who are doing great things in their local communities. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the I Love Wine and Dogs podcast. This is a super special episode for Heidi and I because we're getting a chance to check in with folks that we talked to about a year ago. So we want to see where they are, where we are, and where y'all are. All right. So Heidi, without any further ado, take it away.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the show. I'm so excited to have Jessica Seaburn back at Universal Yogis, my cousin, who is so amazing in how she plans all of her retreats. Before we delve into that, we're going to talk about wine really quickly because, you know, it's I Love Wine and Dogs. So, Jessica, Tim, I found a friend turned me onto this Chardonnay called St. Francis. I took a picture of it at my friend's place, but it's a really yummy little Chardonnay and decently priced. And the vineyard looks amazing. And I was like, again, that would be a fun trip to try to plan maybe when Tim's in town, but a really, really good Chardonnay. And I know you like your Duckhorn Chardonnay and also Rombauer.
Well, yes, who doesn't? But
I know.
also, is it there's two Marisols, Marisole, anyways, that. I have to say, though, I loved all the wine in Spain.
And what a great way to segue into Jessica. She did it. She was talking about she wanted to make a retreat happen in Spain. She did. I went on it. It was fabulous. There were 30 people there. And Jessica, just go back and talk about that. I was so proud of you, and it was spectacular.
Yeah, I think last time we spoke, I was saying that would be my dream. I'm trying to create this trip to Spain. And just real quickly, one thing that's typically different about my yoga retreats that I actually call yoga vacations is because I don't typically do them at yoga retreat centers. I usually seek out boutique hotels so that it can feel more like a vacation than like a regimented retreat, right? So because we like to have wine amongst other things, right? We want to enjoy our time there and be on vacation and have some wonderful yoga. This was actually a wellness center. It was at a yoga retreat center in Malaga, Spain, and we made it happen. I'm always really nervous when I'm curating these trips because I don't know if I'm going to lose a massive deposit or if it's going to come to fruition. But this was a trip of a lifetime. It really was. And I'm so happy Heidi could join us. And we did some travel on the front and back end as well. So it was really great.
So she did a fantastic job. We went to Cordoba and Toledo, Madrid. And then from the retreat, which was great, you could go experience and do afternoons, in between the morning and evening sessions, which was so fun. And I feel like everybody did before and after and both, which it's like, my gosh, how fun was that? And so smart to see more than just, being at the retreat was fabulous.
Yeah, we did some wonderful hikes, like amazing hikes. And then you should see Heidi's kayaking skills. Quite amazing. We kayaked to a waterfall. Like it was great. It was so great. So yes, as far as the front end and the back end of the retreats, I'm starting to realize I'm like a trip designer, not just a yoga retreat leader, but I really love planning and curating trips. And so, combining that with the yoga retreats is a dream come true for sure.
Yeah, it was very nice to see because some of us have met on other retreats and some have done all of her retreats. I've done the two, but it was just fun reconnecting with them and then meeting new people. And it was a lot of mother-daughters, which was cool, right, Jessica?
Yeah, there were a lot of mother-daughter combos on this one. So that was really fantastic. It was neat. And we did the 5 elements. That was our theme. So we were there for 6 days. And so one day was focused on earth, the next day on water. And I coordinated those. The water day was the day that we went kayaking, and the air day was the day we did that wild, crazy high up hike. Yeah. So I kind of coordinated excursions along with the themes as well. It's so fun.
Well, and then talk about Simon.
Yeah, so the retreat center had a rope wall, and I took a course in rope wall, and I used to do some rope wall yoga. Much difference from trapeze yoga and all these new trendy things. And you can create a lot of length in the body, really good for the spine, and just getting upside down, not being so scared, and all these things. Anyways, I just wasn't confident with 30 people teaching it with all this equipment, and we were going upside down. So we had this man, Simon Lau, come in and teach us the rope wall class, which was that was such a treat for me too.
I mean, he's world renowned. Like Jessica's like, you guys don't understand. Like, he is the man. So, and I think did that just kind of happen?
I went to the front and just asked if I could have his contact, if there was any way he would come in and do it, and what's the cost, and it was worth it.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? Also, I think what would be interesting for folks is if you have pictures of like, that you just toss onto the floor, like of the maps, like as you're planning all of this, right? Like you don't have to show all of the personal details. We're not trying to give away, all your trade secrets of how you bring all of this together, because it sounds insane for 30 people all the way over in Spain. Like that just seems like, so massive to me. But like those types of things of the behind the scenes, Heidi and I were chatting a while ago about people don't see the work that we do on our way to becoming who we are. And so, any of those things that can help and encourage our listeners and those that are watching our program, our podcast, that it takes a lot of work. You have to be doing your homework. It's not just, oh, we went kayaking in the middle of Spain. It's not just, oh, we climbed this phenomenal mountain that you can only see on Google. You know what I'm saying? Like you put the work in to make sure that everyone was safe and everyone would enjoy it. And,
What I do is I put out feelers about timing and see if there's interest. And then if there's interest, but I've already spoken, I've had Zoom calls with numerous resorts. And so I kind of have ideas of what's going to happen. And then I put out the feeler. And if I get enough interest, I send that deposit. So that's how it goes. And then I'm also working on my annual Bahamas retreat as well.
What is something that you learned about yourself on this particular trip?
I weirdly took better care of myself on this trip than I typically do. I love wine and dogs, and there was a dog there called Hara, and she was amazing. But I really kind of sat back a lot more than I typically do. And I think it might have been because there was such a great crowd and there was a lot going on. One thing that I learned and I did differently is if I take better care of myself on the retreat, I am not completely wiped out and ruined after the retreat. So yeah, interestingly, like I was in bed really early and I had a room to myself, and I like to go to my room and like set everything out for the next day and be really prepared to teach the classes. And I just found I enjoy teaching so much. If I didn't have 2 glasses of wine at dinner the night before. So I weirdly took better care of myself. Like if I didn't want to do something, I didn't do it. Whereas normally I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. And I get, I'm just getting like Stretch Armstrong pulled in every direction. And so I sort of I kept a little more to myself than I typically do, which I don't know if Heidi would notice that or not, but yeah.
So I would not notice that from retreats because, I've done the 2, but I know from you and knowing you, yes, I was like, she's not feeling she's got to be the ringleader and making sure, everybody's fine. They're going to be fine. And I'm glad that you did that. I thought that was really smart. I did not, on the other hand, but
yeah, but you needed to embrace it all. But, I knew everybody was fine. I was also just really excited to have family and friends with me. So we got to have some special time together as well. But I don't feel like anybody felt like they didn't get enough time. You know what I mean? But that is what I would say that I learned is I don't have to be everywhere all the time.
And the other thing about Europe, it's, we're walking everywhere. Everything is so walkable. LA, we're not like that. You maybe, Tim, a little bit more in New York where you are. But just seeing people enjoying their food, Nobody was rushing. I was like, oh my God, I love that. And we just do not do that here. And that was really for me, just to sit again with the family when we had like our special time on the before and after trips, and just like hang out and talk and enjoy what was going on, like the street entertainers at that one Airbnb we were staying at. It was just awesome. We were not rushing, and I loved that.
This is something, yes, I wanted to add when you talked about like the maps and the layout of the planning. Almost everybody who came did a pre or post trip. So we were in southern Spain. So my daughter and I afterwards went to all over Spain and then to France and then Italy. We traveled a lot before throughout Spain, but most of the people went to Portugal, or they all tacked on travel on top of, on the front end or the back end of the retreat. And then shared, we have a WhatsApp group of everybody, and then everyone was sharing their travel pictures, and that WhatsApp group will be there forever. I mean,
Yep.
you know, people became lifelong friends. And so, I mean, that's really another takeaway from these is you make wonderful friends. You really do. And it was fun for me. My daughters got to meet some of my friends who I only know through the yoga retreats. And it does turn out to sort of be like one big happy family.
It does, really. I mean, it's, the camaraderie and everything. It's so lovely, and just the conversations that were happening. And, that's the beauty of life.
That being the beauty of life, there's just this quote that I heard from the great Debbie Allen. I mean, my God, that woman. Wow. I was listening to an interview with her this past week, and she was asked about aging. And she said, why are people so obsessed and concerned with aging? Why don't people just enjoy living?
Oh,
So that has been my motto this week, and like going forward and forward and forward. I'm like, quit spending so much time worrying about, spending money on, thinking about aging. Live. Just live. And I'm going to say these yoga retreats, these yoga vacations support living. They support living. They really do. You're living life. You're embracing moments. You're in the moment. And you are taking care of your body and your mind so that you have longevity in living, right?
well, and that's another one we need to, wherever this is, or Jessica, text that to us. I need to print it and put that out, because I feel like, being in the moment sometimes is a struggle, but it's like, live your life. Like, life is amazing. And I am grateful every single day. But again, sometimes I'm like, what does my calendar say that I've got to do next week? It's like, oh, you'll get to it. Like, be here and be now.
Well, and even to the, oh, I'm going to miss such and such a show. I can't walk during this time. And, oh, I got it, but by the time you sit down and watch an hour-long show, now you're snacking, now you're tired, now you're in a whole other mindset. You have to just get up and do it. And I hope that I can take some of this into tomorrow. And you know what I'm saying? And like take a little bit of Saturday and just take a nice little stroll.
It's interesting. I don't know if you guys notice this where you live, but I notice literally so many people on their phone when they're walking their dogs or crossing the street. And it's like, why is being on your phone crossing the street a good idea? Yeah, or with their babies. But I'm like, it makes me sad because, where I love wine and dogs, we love our animals. And nothing makes me more upset than when I see people on the phone when they're walking their dog. Like, that is your time that is your dog's time. And be present for your dog. They know that you're not paying attention to them. I will watch people, and it's like, the dog is like, hi, okay, I guess I'll just whatever. What is so damn important on your phone? Guarantee it's not.
No, I know. And you know how I feel about that. You know very well. Like on my yoga vacations, no phones are allowed at any meals. If I see one, I actually will.
She'll call you out.
I will call you out. Yeah. I do not want to see a phone at a table. I want conversation. I want everyone to be present. But I was going to say right after Malaga. So this is really interesting. So our retreat ended in Spain. I know we're jumping around. Our retreat ended in Spain. Heidi, my mom, my daughter, and other people flew out from Malaga to Madrid, and my other daughter and I, Marley and I, flew to Barcelona. We landed in Barcelona 15 minutes after there was this crazy power outage in all of Spain, Europe, and parts of France. You guys got out of Madrid at literally the nick of time. Like Eleuthera said the bathroom lights had just gone out, and she was like, I use my flashlight in the bathroom. Anyway, so what I'm getting at here is Marley and I spent an entire like 20 hours in Barcelona. No Wi-Fi, no internet. It was fabulous. It was amazing. Like everybody was outside, just talking, just chill. You didn't even see a phone. It was my dream come true.
And a middle schooler's nightmare. Yeah, that's it.
Totally. It was great. Yeah, it is so funny how dependent people are. It is. I try to pull people away from that in our experiences together. I really do.
Well, and I have to say, so at the retreat, there was cell service was shoddy, and which was great because I was like, I don't care what's going on, my phone just to take pictures and everything. But I do sleep with music, with spa music or white noise because of my tinnitus from my ringing ear that never shuts up. And again, I'm not technical. Tim knows that. My brother knows that. And I don't have a lot of downloads. I just listen to it on Spotify Live. And I'm like, oh my God, because it's just, you have to have something drown it out. And so I was a little obsessed about that. And then one of the ladies was like, she helped me so I could download and then just be able to do it on my phone. But like, other than that, I was super happy.
Yeah. I started to do little 8-minute classes. I don't know if you got my newsletter, Heidi, and it had an 8-minute mini class. And then I got a lot of feedback from people saying, can you do more of those little like 8-minute mini classes? And so that's on the agenda.
How can the public get onto your newsletter?
Okay, so I do have a website and people can subscribe to the website or just reach out to me directly. They could DM me. I'm on Instagram, Jessica Seaburn Yoga. I did a little 8-minute mini class and I was surprised. I've never done that before and I was really surprised at the feedback, people wanting more of that. Because Leslie, who lives in Minnesota and came to Spain, said she had just gotten home from a really long, hard day of work and didn't have a lot of time. And she said it just turned her day around. So
is it recorded or did you do it?
Yeah, it's just a Zoom link. And you can find, my website is Jessica Seaburn Yoga or universalyogis.com. You can find that either way. And it has all the links to all my classes.
Right. That I know, but we need to be able to share that. We did before, but we need to share it again.
Well, I appreciate that.
Of course. Thank you for coming back and doing this because I think, Tim and I were saying it's important we all have goals and dreams and things that we want to do. And like, you did it. And you've already set the next one. And do you have any inkling of like another place you're kind of putting out in the ethers in the universe?
I do. And I never wanted to do this because it's so overdone, but I have a friend who just bought a beautiful property in like an island people don't go to in Bali. So I was never going to do Bali, but Bali's on my mind now because a friend of mine bought a property there and said, we should do a yoga retreat here. Now all of a sudden I'm like, that's interesting. I've had Greece on my mind for several years because I've been to Greece many times, once with Heidi. And there's this island that like no cruise ships can go to. I might have talked about it last time. It's a very special island. And so they don't have a yoga retreat center. So I found a boutique resort that has a beautiful space for yoga in a vineyard, by the way, in a vineyard. It might have to be I love wine and cats, considering it's Greece. So it's all cats, but I do love cats as well as dogs.
Well, and just really quickly at the retreat at the Centillion, they also said they had Hara the dog and Panda the cat.
Yeah.
This beautiful Siamese cat. And one night he just decided that he was just going to stroll down the long table.
Yes.
Oh my God, he was so cute. And then he and I had a glass of wine and solved some of the problems of the world. Yeah. I got some great pictures. Oh my God. So of course that makes it for us, like any animals, wherever we go. Like the funny thing was he was like, he was on somebody's bolster and then a yoga mat and then just laying on the walkway when we were all leaving class, which I found was hysterical. And people were posting that on our chat. I need to do a photo dump of some of the pictures. We just had the best time. And I'm so proud of you for doing it, Jessica. Your classes are so good. And I think your vacation traveling, we kind of talked about this before. That's a gift that you have. It's not easy. I mean, the preparation that she put in for us with the family of everything, I was like, how did she do that? It was like so smooth and organized. And I was like, oh my God, like, thank you for that. But that's something, listen, you could make some money off of that.
I know. I've considered, I would like to be somewhat of a travel agent and actually try to make some money doing that. So that's actually in the back of my head as well. You should see. But no, I love creating trips. And the way I do it is by looking at a lot of reviews, by the way, Heidi. So like as far as the Airbnbs, I just go way back and see what would be a good fit for us.
Yeah, but it was
That's a lot
great.
of research.
Was so pleased. And I'm trying to figure out, I'm not going to be able to do Bahamas and Greece. So it's like, I know Bahamas always be there. So
Mamma mia.
I know, Tim, you got to come with us, man.
I'm already sold. Like, if I gotta, I don't know what I gotta do, shake it and collect some dollars, I don't know, but I definitely need to get out there and join you. That sounds like such a phenomenal time, and even just sometimes a change of environment, right? I mean, like, you're giving multiple layers of great things because it's not just getting people into a completely different space. Then you're working with them on what they might be eating. Then you're working with them on the breath. Then you know what I'm saying? It's like so many layers of awesome. Definitely. I want to be there.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I think we're going to have to wrap the show up in a couple of minutes. Always remember, everybody, we love our animals. We got lots of animals out there that need homes. You can visit your local shelters, rescue groups. They need help, whether you can volunteer, you can be a foster, ready to like open up your home for a forever loving home for any of these babies. But we need your help with that. That's all over, not just in California and in New York. It's all across the United States and overseas. Focus on where we live, adopt, don't shop.
We'll be right back after these messages.
Look at you in our logo. You have squashed all your FOMO. We see you and we like it.
Watch season 1 of I Love Wine and Dogs on Spotify.
Wherever you live, go to your local shelter or work with your local rescue group to bring in your new forever loving baby if you're ready. Remember, you got to make sure you're ready for this commitment, but you can foster, you can volunteer. There are so many other ways that you can give back and help your fellow community in the pet world.
Like, share, and subscribe on Facebook and Instagram at I Love Wine and Dogs.
Welcome back to the show.
I feel like, Tim, we've always got something fun and new to share, or like something that's on the sizzle burning, getting ready to share. So I will start really quick. So the pups, my Pets Unstressing passenger program at the airport, one of our volunteers did a short documentary on it, and we got accepted to the Dances with Films Film Festival in Los Angeles. Right?
Congratulations. That's excellent.
Thank you. It's a whole week of films and shorts and documentaries and everything going on, movies, full lengths. And so it's pretty cool and exciting. So Barry Rosenthal is my volunteer that put this together. So stay tuned for more of that. So that's what I got going on, but I also know you have something equally exciting. So share with us.
A few years ago, started my own company, the Coleman Global Initiative. And, our goal is really just to use our gifts and talents to help other people see their purpose come to life. Like it's nice and simple. I was able to finally achieve both New York City and New York State certification as a minority business enterprise, which opens us up to tons of grant opportunities. A lot of the federal grants that come through, 30% of those grants are specifically designated to people who have this type of certification. And, the work that we do in the community, it's not, you don't do this work to get rich. You do this work to live your purpose. You do this work to see other people fulfill whatever their dreams and hopes are. We're out here really doing all the things that are necessary to be seen in the space and to help other people. So thank you for giving me a chance to say that. It's like, the amount of paperwork, the amount of all the things, right? We talk about the things that we accomplish or the things that are happening. And I want anybody who's watching us to always think about the fact that you have to be doing your homework. You never know when something is going to happen, but you have to be prepared for it whenever the door opens, right? So you have to continue to believe, continue to have faith, continue to push forward, because that city certification came through within just a couple of months. But that state certification, I've been working on that for 3 years, right? Like, and I haven't even talked about it, but it's been 3 years of back and forth, and talk about bureaucracy, holy mackerel. But we're there now. And so I hope that, by September, when the new school year starts in New York, I'll be able to do some other really cool things with the families in the community.
Tim, that is such amazing news, and it is hard. The process for people, and there are many, 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 many organizations that go through this process and nothing happens. You did it, and you persevered, and you didn't give up, so you can continue to do the amazing work and serve the community. That's a huge hats off to you, my friend, because a lot of people would quit. They'd be like, this paperwork, the bureaucracy, it's too hard. I can't deal with this. I'm having to resubmit. I'm having to justify myself and what I'm trying to do, right?
Yeah, no, it's totally true. Because it was taking so long, different things were changing, and everything in the packet has to be up to date. So somewhere in the middle, I changed banks. So that was a whole new set of paperwork and, notary and all this thing. And you are right in that, people sometimes see us where we've arrived, and they don't know the lessons we've learned and the road we've traveled to get to that particular point in time. I think a lot of the mom and pop type of companies and organizations like mine that are really out just to do positive things for other people, they do give up. And so, I hope one day I could sit down and maybe put together something to help people stay encouraged to do this type of thing. But right now, I'm still reeling from how difficult it was to achieve. So I don't really have anything to teach anyone, but we'll see in the future.
I like what you said, because this is a great segue into our guest. You kind of see what we're doing now, and we still have lots of hills to climb, but there's been a lot of work.
Yes.
Getting to what we're doing in our lives now, and more work to be done. That's a great segue into Miss Lisa O'Loughlin, who was our first guest of our first show as I Love Wine and Dogs together. And I have to back up because it was funny. We live and we learn, and Lisa's show, for whatever reason, didn't get recorded. So it was audio, but not visual. And so now everybody gets to see her beautiful face. And, we wanted to do this and revisit a few guests who on the show talked about what they wanted to do and what they wanted to accomplish, and they've accomplished it. And again, I think that's just showing perseverance. And it may not always happen when we want it to happen, right? Be patient, universe, your higher power, whatever that is, timing, it will. And it may not look exactly how you thought it was going to look like, but we do it. And so without further ado, Lisa O'Loughlin, welcome back to the show, girlfriend.
Here I am. Here's my face. Hey, I want to say kudos to both Heidi and Tim, your huge accomplishments on your projects that you've poured blood, sweat, and tears into. And the one thing I want to say is something I read or heard a long time ago and come back to, I hear it quite often, is don't quit 5 minutes before the miracle arrives. So keep going, people. Okay, now we can do what we're supposed to do.
That was very powerful though, because it's like, don't quit. You can, maybe things go on the back burner, right? Maybe you have to take a couple steps backwards, which is not a bad thing, and like reset or rethink or, whatever that looks like, but just kind of resetting.
Yes.
And it's going to happen. And I mean, Lisa, you're the perfect example, because I'm going to take us back. You were, your gift of what you do, healing through Reiki, through shaman, through life lessons, through how spirit talks to you. You've been doing this for a long time, but you were working another job. And it was, how do you not make the money and have the faith and belief that what you want to do is going to be able to support you? So take us back to that.
About 14 years ago, I stumbled upon these gifts that I've had for many lifetimes. And I just kept showing up even though there was resistance and I was having trouble owning what these gifts were, understanding. But again, I kept following the nudge. And this was in my spare time. At that time, I was working full time in sales and marketing at an assisted living community. And so it was just parallel working, discovering, shedding, looking at my shadows, letting stuff go, doing my work, but also doing a job. I don't know how. I was there 12 years, but that's the longest I've ever been anywhere in my life. Prior to, about 3 years before that, I was done. I was done. I knew I wanted to get out of the industry. Of course, I wanted to do my healings full time. I didn't know what that looked like, how that would work financially more than anything. Anyway, 3 years later, I hate to, put that out there and people think, oh God, it's going to take me years. But sometimes years later, I was at a networking event and some lady from the Boys and Girls Club says, we're looking for somebody part-time. It just fell in my lap. I didn't even ask. I got the job and I was there about a year and I was busting my hump, nonprofit, doing the work of 3 people. That's what you do as a performer. You just plow through. But one day I said, if I'm going to bust my hump, I'm going to do it for myself. So last October, I worked it out with my husband. Thank goodness, financially, I was able to jump ship. And so now I'm a healer full time. However, in that time, I've had moments of I needed to just take care of me because I had been on this grind. And we don't know, everybody, you know how it is. Like you just live life and you're grinding. And you don't realize until you pause, you're like, how did I do that? How did I make it through? How did I get out of bed? Anyway, here I am. Can't believe it's June, but working full time and as a healer and loving it and having more time for me.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about, because I think this is important. So
Okay.
The job that we're working for the nonprofit, it was part-time.
Yes.
It wasn't. So that was taking a salary cut.
Yes.
But being part-time and being hybrid, you were able to start focusing a little bit more on your business, what you want to do, and yourself. We're having some job security of getting a paycheck. And
Correct.
that was important. You didn't quit completely. It was kind of like a stepping stone.
Yes.
And then you realized, that's it, I'm done. Now,
Correct.
if I'm going to do this, I'm going to all balls in.
Yes.
So I
So
think
yes.
that's important because I think a lot of people are fearful. Well, if I quit my job, there might be a part-time job again, if you can, work the balances out of what does that look like. But the point is you had to make another step before now doing what you're doing full time.
Absolutely. And in my head, did I want to have a stepping stone? Of course not. However, that's what I needed to help me start unwinding that energy and preparing to move into this full time.
What were some of the things that you realized you had to let go of?
Yeah. When you're in the grind, your falsehood of control and like fight mode.
Mm-hmm.
And I could drop out of that when I was doing my healing. However, I would have to shift back into that when I went to the job. So it was this back and forth energy switching. And then when I was able to leave the part-time nonprofit, I could breathe. And it was very foreign. I mean, from the time I was little, we all have childhood stories. It was chaos. It was drama. So this first time ever in my life, because I had evolved some and done so much work on myself, I could recognize that, my gosh, I wasn't even breathing. I was just running. And so just, trying my best to just let go and be still. And as I said before, just let it unravel because it was so tight. So it's baby steps. Sometimes it's a grand leap and it's like, whoa, I made it through that. Like I would have never done that in the past. But most of the times it's baby steps and really taking care of Lisa, which I've never done.
Yeah, no, that's excellent. It's very positive. Sometimes folks do make that leap, and in that leap to the quote unquote new thing, they're still taking in old energy. And so they mess up the foundation of that new thing because they're approaching it from the wrong space.
Yes.
So I appreciate you sharing that.
That is such an important statement, Tim.
To cut and paste what you said, and I need to have that up on my wall. It's so true. And what does that feel like to not have to be running for everybody else and just being able to be there for yourself?
And again, it's so foreign. Most of us, many of us never are able to shift and love ourselves and have space for ourselves. I'm very blessed. I don't take it for granted, but I am still, we're working on this, uncovering, letting go till the day we die. It's a journey, and it takes great commitment and discipline, but there's no turning back once you start. There's not.
Lisa, talk about these workshops that you've been putting on, and I'm so excited to see where this is going to continue. I found a space for her. I'm like, I found a space. Check it out. You need to do something here. But I mean, share with us.
Okay, so the story goes, my husband for many years has been saying, you need to do a peace rally in the park, and I'll make you big peace signs and hearts. And I'm like, okay, and time has gone on. And then I found this theater that I loved, and I decided that's where I'm going to do this peace rally. It was a meditation, guided meditation, and then we would take all of that love and peace that we were filled with, gather in a circle, and then send it out to our loved ones, the earth, all the world. And it was going to be so pure and beautiful. And I've done this in other settings, but this was going to be a larger scale because it's so desperately needed, right? And then one night I had a session with a client of mine and her husband, and it was my gift to them for their wedding, a love session. Not, oh, that sounds healing heart session. Anyway, so he's this big burly guy. I had seen pictures of him, and big burly fireman from Philly. Okay, and he's coming for an energy healing. God love him. So I decided we're going to sit in the lobby, and I'm going to connect with him. And so I said, hey, Aaron, I hear you're, from Philly. I hear you grew up Catholic, so did I. I said I started partying at 13, drinking. I said, you know how it goes. And we just were bantering back and forth. And then I guess I said something about, oh my God, I've just been party Lisa for so long. So the next day, my client sends me a text. She says, thanking me for the session. And she says, hey, party Lisa. And something inside of me was like, thank you so much, la, la, la. And then she signs it, peace, love, and party. Something just hit me like a ton of bricks. And it was the piece of this event that was missing, because I have always said I've been party Lisa, entertainer, dancer, karaoke, you name it, dance party Lisa, more years than healer Lisa. And it's still inside me because it's who I am. And I never could understand how I could be this and this at the same time. And now I bring it together and I am this. Because now the event is called the Higher Light Experience. And it starts as a beautiful meditation. People are filled with divine love and peace. We join in the circle. We send that out to the world, to humanity, the animals, and then it turns into an old school dance party. And it's really cool because so many people do guided meditations, and that's wonderful because that's what I do as well. And then other people host dance parties, but I don't know anybody that is doing both at one event.
And that's what I'm talking about. You, when you're opened and how this came with what your friend, because I've always called her Party Lisa, Party Mama, but the party is her personality. I mean, Lisa, we did Special Olympics, on this bus group. That's a whole nother show, but like with all these elderly people going to Jean, Nevada to like raise money for Special Olympics. And we were on the bus, Lisa instigated it, getting everybody up and dancing. She's always been that, like the bingo for the folks at the center. She's that personality that gets the party started. So, of course, doesn't it make sense that this comes together? Because we all need to dance more. We all need to like let loose. Oh, I'm so excited for you.
And I forgot to mention, Tim, that it's peace, love, and party, and it's raising the world's vibration one soul at a time.
Excellent. And I have to say, I want to also give light to the fact that there's also a lot of people that don't know how to embrace all of the parts of themselves because we're so busy trying to change and judge who we were yesterday, right? And hope for who we want to be for tomorrow, that for today, you might actually be in transition and you might actually be a person who loves to party and dance, even if it's in your house to music and nobody knows how you're flailing around and having fun. But then you're also the person that in the middle of that celebration, if somebody calls you and they need something, you can take a breath and you can actually serve that moment, that friendship, that relationship, that whatever it is, and still be both people at the same exact time.
Yes. Thank you.
Are you a person that like kind of jots down in a calendar, by September I want to be doing this? How do you structure, or do you structure change? Like how do you structure change?
Because I'm a recovering control freak, I am diligently working at allowing and living in the flow of life. And I do the work daily. I take the steps and I follow leads. I follow my intuition. Sometimes they don't work out. Sometimes I'm like, why did that even happen? But I just keep moving forward. And that is how I'm living my life. And it's so freeing and it's stress. There's hardly any stress because I'm not trying to push or control. Because who am I to say? I mean, I always live by that. Our plan is nothing like God's plan for us. I mean, we can't even imagine what is planned for us. I don't even like to say too much because I'm like, okay, I know you know best. So I'm here, I'm of service. And that's another thing that I show up and I'm of service. And I've learned that is how life moves forward. And in gratitude brings more blessings. Of course, I have days where I just want to scream or pull the covers over my head. I mean, I'm human. However, I am committed to living in the flow. And if something doesn't work out, I now can say to myself, it wasn't meant to be, Lisa, for whatever reason. And I don't need to know the reason. Somebody didn't hire me to do something. Well, maybe there was going to be a car accident, or maybe, those people weren't going to treat me well, or what have you. So I can't argue when the universe says no.
No is sometimes the biggest blessing we could ever receive. It doesn't matter when something shows up, as long as you're ready for it when it shows up.
And that's
bingo.
Yes, is we think we're ready, just like before when I wanted to leave that job for 3 years. Clearly I wasn't ready for whatever reason. And then I had met some people along those years that I needed in different ways that I wouldn't have met if I didn't stay there. So we never know what the timing is all about.
I think it really just goes back to just take a breath and just be patient because it all works out. And this is, again, why we wanted to have you back on the show because and this could have been another year from now. Let's say the journey was still not where you are now. There's going to be more journeys we're going to follow up on you with. But it's just, this is what we're talking about, right? And this is what we are trying to live each day. And you're just such a beautiful example of, like, it will happen.
It will.
If your passion is there, if it's what you want to do, it's going to happen when it's supposed to happen. So before we close the show out, the wine I want to talk about really quickly is a non-alcoholic wine, and it's called Ariel. It's super good. The one I tried was a Cabernet Sauvignon, a nice red one. Listen, I liked it. It was good. So if you're, trying to hold back on your alcohol but still want to enjoy something, there's a lot of different opportunities of non-alcoholic wines and beers. Lisa, I know you like a couple of those beers.
I do. I am going to try that wine one day, but Stella makes a great non-alcoholic beer.
And it still tastes good. And remember, I Love Wine and Dogs. It's all about the animals. You know, we've got another crisis right now. Kitten season is in full swing all over the nation. We've got unwanted kittens everywhere. The shelters are bursting at the seams. Rescue groups are bursting at the seams. So, you know, we've got resources for you. If you're looking to adopt, if you're looking to foster, if you're looking to volunteer, you can open up your heart or your wallet to help any of these animals. They would appreciate it. We would appreciate it because we're all one. Nature, people, animals, whether you're in the sea, the air, it doesn't matter. We are all living beings and we need to love and take care of each other. Lisa, any last words of wisdom you want to leave us before we sign off for the day?
Just pause. Pause throughout your days. That's it. You'll feel it. Just pause.
I receive that. Thank you so much for coming back and being with us. You know, I know it's such a surprise for our audience, you know, that we get a chance to come back and check up on folks and see where you are in your life and what has changed, what has shown up for you, you know, a year later. So thank you for sharing all of the peace. Thank you for sharing the love, and thank you for sharing the party.
Woo!
That's right. Woo! Until next time, everybody, we love you. Take care. Adopt, don't shop.
We'll be right back after these messages. I Love Wine and Dogs podcast has brand new merchandise. Have you ever looked at something and realized you didn't need it until you saw it? ILoveWineandDogs.shop, your one-stop shop to support loving pets, good wine, and great people doing awesome things in their communities. Visit ILoveWineandDogs.shop and get that new merch. Welcome back to the show.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the show. We have our last guest, Miss Marisol, who's my hairdresser. Happy to have her on. I have to say, I got a great cut from her for so long because I don't have like the best hair. And I was like, I want it to be long and whatever, right? It is what it is. And then I was like, Marisol, I think I need like a grown-up. I need a good haircut, you know. And so she showed some pictures and I'm like, what about layers? She's like, you could do layers. And so, you know, she put layers in and I was nervous at first because I'm like, oh my God, but I don't style my hair. Like, that's not me. I live in a ponytail. And she's like, no, you can just like scrunch and like, it's fine. You don't have to like get fancy. And I love it because I literally will sometimes do a little curling iron or just like spray the sea salt stuff and just crunch it. And I just feel like I have great hair. And then before we really get into the show, the sparkling wine I picked that we're going to talk about is Chandon. And it is up in Napa. And it's a sparkling wine. And it's super yummy and super good. Just a nice sparkling wine. And I remember my friend had told me, and when we also talked to Bob and Louisa, you know, champagne only comes from a certain area in France. Anything else is a sparkling wine. So I know there's a Moet Chandon, which is from France, which is a champagne. But this one you can buy anywhere and it's really good. And my friend Nicole brought it over and we tasted it and it was delicious. So because Marisol is so sparkling, that was the sparkling wine I wanted to introduce for our show.
Nice. I gotta try that. I gotta try that one, that sparkling wine.
It's seriously really, really good. So jumping in, the show, what Tim and I were talking about is friends we've had on who talked about goals or dreams that they had, and they've actually achieved it.
So the friends that have been on and have maybe even spoken of something in the year prior about something that they wanted to do or achieve or accomplish or put out into the world, and see like, where are you in that process? And, you know, this gives our fans also a chance to A, remember who you are, and B, the bigger picture of what Heidi and I are working on is, we've been talking to our audience a lot about, we all have these goals, we all have our own timelines of when we want things to happen and we want to see things happen. And, our natural timeline is not always the same as a spiritual timeline. And it doesn't matter when something happens as long as you're prepared for it.
Yeah.
Right. So what is something in your life that has happened that you were prepared for it, you were ready for it? Maybe it didn't happen at the exact time you wanted it to happen, but, talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, I had an idea of opening a hostel hotel in Mexico because I had the building. I inherited the building years ago with my sisters, and we all became partners. And we opened it, and it's a women's only hostel, and it's in Mexico, and we're very excited about it.
Talk about how did you make that? It wasn't easy. You
No, it
were
was.
telling me there was a lot of things and repairs. So you had the idea, you had the property, and then take us from.
We had the idea. Well, we didn't have a concept. We just had the property. So we went and we started, like, making repairs and, trying to repair the building. And then as it started coming along, we're like, okay, so now what are we going to do here? Like, what's the concept we want to give this project, and type of the people that we want to bring in. And then we're like, you know what, there's a lot of single ladies out there and or friends that are traveling solo, and why don't we just offer a space that it's affordable, and that they will feel comfortable, because there's no man, it's just all girls. And we do, like, we have areas where you can bring a massage therapist and get a massage, or we have a beautiful patio where we offer yoga classes, we offer Zumba classes sometimes, and there's different women from the community that come in and offer different workshops for the.
That's amazing.
It's love that. I love that you made that happen. What about, well, how many rooms are there? And then is there a kitchen, or how does that work if somebody wants to make some food?
Yes, we have 14 rooms, and 3 of them are like hostel style, so they're bunk beds. So we fit 6 girls on each room of those 3 rooms. And yes, we do have a kitchen for everyone. It's a community kitchen with a huge dining room table, and then right next to it, there's a area where they can work. Like, they bring out their laptops, and we have internet, provide everything so they can just be there and just enjoy the weather and do whatever they want.
Tell us what the name of it is. I think I know why and what it is in the story, Marisol. I
Yeah,
think, yeah.
the name is Casa de Rosa, and my mother's name was Rosa. So her house is actually downstairs. It's on the bottom of this building. So, she was a single mom. She raised her 3 daughters. So we thought it was a great idea. Her house is now welcoming all those solo travelers from around the world.
That's powerful, right? Like you're really, her legacy is all throughout the foundation of the home, and people may not even
Absolutely.
know it, right? And one of the things I wanted to just say really quickly, it's nice that you did this where female travelers are safe.
Yeah, it was just like the idea just came out of nowhere. We were painting the place, and we're like choosing, the colors from the color palette, and we're like, well, why don't we turn this into a girls only place?
So you guys came up with the color palette, decided that this is where girls were going to come.
Yes.
And I also stayed at a hostel, and they said, don't leave anything here, take them with you.
We have cameras everywhere, as safe as can be, and the whole place is very feminine. All the colors are very girly. Everything is just like you're like in Barbie dream house type of thing.
Oh my gosh, I love it. And then Marisol, is it in a little town? Are there things that you can walk to, or what would that look like?
Yes, we are in a beach town, actually. It's a town called Puerto Escondido. It's in the south of Mexico, in the state of Oaxaca. And It's known for their waves. So it's for surfing. Yeah. It's known for its waves. We we're in the downtown area, so we're at a walking distance to everything. We're like 10, 15 minutes away from the water, walk at a walking distance. There's a lot of public transportation that goes by around there. We have all the supermarkets around us.
That's
So
great.
yeah, it's in a great location.
That's important, and that makes it, easy for people to, again, if you're staying there, you don't have to rely on transportation, but if you need it, I mean, you can
Yeah.
get everywhere without it. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're collaborating with a lot of local people in the town. Like if you want surf lessons, like we know the people that can come and pick you up and take you to the ocean and give you the surf lessons or whatever you want.
That's actually really, really smart, is that they will come and get you to take you on the excursion, but that, you're also creating this new flow of income for the community.
Absolutely. And yeah, we're also collaborating with these other two girls who are they're they go to different destinations and they bring women that are trying to find themselves, reunite with themselves, and they get all these they create these workshops, so we do have the space for them, and they come in and they're just there meditating and finding who they are, or I don't know.
So you're saying there are two girls that have that already, and you're
Yeah,
partnering with
these
them.
two girls have this business and they contact us because they really like our concept, and they have a whole day planned out for them.
So, like another wellness retreat center. So you're multi-purpose, which is great.
Yes,
That's smart. That's smart, girlfriend.
By the sound of it, it sounds like there's so much work that goes into
it's a lot
putting
of
something
work.
like this together, right? But and it sounds like you were very hands-on.
Well, one of my sisters, she's an interior designer, so she knows a lot about construction. So she's been the mastermind of, we're just her helpers. She tell us, okay, we're gonna knock this wall down, and that's what we do. We come and help. Yeah, and we just like hire people from the community too, and just like, hey, like, and that's how the whole thing started. And pretty much everything was already done. We just fixed like the bathrooms, created a kitchen, a functional kitchen for everyone. So yeah, it was a lot of work, but it was so much fun.
I love the communal kitchen idea. My friend TJ that had his place in Costa Rica and Tamarindo, they have that, and their saying was, "Come as strangers, leave as family," because you're getting coffee or getting snacks and using the fridge, and if somebody caught fish, they would make fish for everybody, and it's just a lovely ice-breaking way for people to commune with each other naturally.
Absolutely.
And I think especially if it's young girls traveling, will be comfortable because an easier way for them to meet each other, because that's where they're going to eat and have their coffee and food and whatnot.
Absolutely. And what I see how they interact with each other, like, they're, like you said, they're strangers and they become friends at the end of their stay.
That's awesome. So both your sisters live in LA? I know the one does.
Yeah, one sister lives in LA and the other one actually lives there. So we try to take different turns. So the little sister, who's the one that lives there, takes a break and can
Yeah.
do whatever she wants and
Good.
takes off, and then we take over.
I want to go down with you.
Yeah, absolutely. You're
I'm going to
welcome to
invite
come.
myself.
Yes, you will love it. It's so fun.
And so how do people find out about it? Like, where are you in the process of building like a website so that people can
We're in
find
the process of building a website, but we are in I think we're on Hostel World, and we are in Expedia and Booking and Airbnb as well.
Good. So we'll get that information, Marisol.
Absolutely.
And we'll post that. And then also, if you have any pictures, I know I saw some of the stuff when you guys were in construction.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun to see what it looks like now, some favorite pictures, and we can also post that as well. So people
Absolutely. That would be great. Yes, I will share them with you.
You guys have to be proud of yourself because you did it. I mean, again, you had talked about it. It was an idea.
Yes, it was an idea. It was just an idea, and it took form as we were doing it as we were remodeling the building.
Which is when we were talking to Lisa, another guest earlier, it's just, again, how all of this, it just comes when it comes, right?
Absolutely.
You put it out there. You didn't really have an idea, but things came and it was like, yeah, that we can do this. You know, I
Yeah.
asked that to myself. That's the question. You guys didn't have fear. You could have been like, oh my God, no, that's just too much. I'm afraid.
I used to live there when I was a little girl, and I left 20 something years ago. So right now that I'm kind of back and trying to bring myself back into the town, you know, I've been talking to all the neighbors around it to like there's a coffee shop across the street, and I'm like, hey, you know, I'm opening this right here. So he brought his QR code so the girls can order from him, and he can bring their coffee to the place. And same thing, you know, there's a guy next door that sells coconuts, and I'm like, hey, would you like give the girls a discount, like, you know, like we all come and get coconuts from you? And yeah, everybody's like, yeah. So the little businesses around there, we're kind of working with everyone.
I love that. I love that. Just having the community involved, it's benefiting them.
Yeah, it's benefiting everyone. Like, it's just like a circle.
Oddly enough, to that, you just actually took it from me, that whole full circle type of thing in the community, that actually is what also helps make it more safe, because everybody's watching out,
Yes.
right? And so now you have more of a village feel, as opposed to being this unique place that people are eyeing to see what they can do some, you know, devious thing to. Now everybody's able to benefit from you bringing this new business into town and this new idea into town. And so now they can feel a sense of protection over that idea as well. So that's really good.
Yeah, and it's like I overheard sometimes the neighbors when I'm like, the times I've been there walking on the streets, are like, oh yeah, that's the place where all the girls stayed. That's the girl place.
Girl place, I love it.
Yeah, it's cute. And it's all pink. Like the building is pink. I'm telling you, it looks like Barbie Malibu Dream Home.
Why not, right?
Yeah, why not?
Well, I'm so proud of you, Marisol.
Thank you,
You
Heidi.
know, it's really, I mean, it's a big deal. Like, you guys should really, you know, give yourself a pat on the back and a cheers, because,
Cheers.
you know, especially even though your sister's there, it's still, you know, out of the country. It's
Yeah.
not like you can walk down the street or drive an hour to get there. So, you know, good for you guys.
Yeah, but thanks to technology, it's like we're not there in person, but it's like we were there. Like we are in constant communication through WhatsApp, through like Zoom meetings and all that stuff.
Many blessings to you. I hope it's
Thank you.
successful.
Thank you so much. I hope so too.
It is, and it will be. It is. It already is. And it's just going to continue to grow.
Yes, I'm sure it will.
All right, everybody. Well, listen, we so appreciate you joining us today. Marisol, thank you.
Thank you.
So proud of you. Remember, adopt, don't shop. We've got lots of animals out there needing a forever loving home. Local rescue group, your local shelters, they need your help, whether it's volunteering, fostering, just maybe advocating for a dog or a cat or a bunny that needs to be adopted. We're all in this together. We're all one. So until next time, everybody, take care. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Marisol.
Take care.
Bye.